November 12, 2018. Flanked by the Health Minister and the Police Commissioner, the then Premier Gladys Berejiklian said this in relation to the impact of ice addiction on our communities. A huge concern and a growing issue in our regions in particular. Minister Hazzard added this: the New South Wales Government is determined to lead Australia by getting the best health and justice minds together, draw on available information and map out a strategy. They were announcing the launch of the Special Commission of Inquiry into the drug ice, headed by the eminent Dr. Dan Howard. Dr. Howard conducted an incredible, rigorous and thorough process, hearing from experts, from users, from families, from young people. He conducted hearings across regional New South Wales, people telling their stories, pleading with the government to do more to fix our broken and harmful drug laws. It has been 925 days since the release of the Special Commission of Inquiry into the drug ice. It has been almost 4 years since the government first called out this issue and said New South Wales was determined to lead. So lacking in urgency is the New South Wales Government on this issue that it took 855 days for the government to respond at all. And when it did respond, it was an interim response that only addressed one of the recommendations. As a reminder, there were 109 recommendations. The government's response so far is a measly 2.5 pages after almost 4 years. That amounts to nothing more than a glorified press release. It has not been through Cabinet. There is no legislation. And with only a few sitting weeks left of Parliament, I think it's fair to assume there won't be any. This is completely unacceptable. Over the last few years, we've faced health crises head-on. During COVID, we listened to public health officials, we listened to experts, we listened to health advice. These same health experts have something to tell us about our drug policies as well. What are they telling us about the ice and drug epidemic and drug-related deaths? It's that our drug laws are fundamentally broken and that we need change. People's lives are on the line. Ignoring this issue does not make drugs or drug taking go away. In fact, it makes it more dangerous and lines the pockets of old mate drug dealer down the road. Again, the only person or people who are benefiting from the government's inaction is organised crime and drug dealers. The government's response does nothing to address the serious issues of ice in regional communities. It does not address the tragic deaths at music festivals or make our communities safer. All it does is prop up organised crime gangs here in New South Wales who rely on the illicit drug trade and leave addicted people who could get better if we gave them support. Without that support, they are not getting better. They are sick, they are criminalised and they are marginalised. Yes, our drug laws are broken. That doesn't mean that they can't be fixed. We need to start treating addiction and drug use as a health issue, not a criminal one. We need to treat people with dignity and respect, and that means doing the things that we know are going to be effective. We must urgently begin a trial of pill testing at music festivals. We must look at options to expand supervised medical injecting centres, expand drug courts, and critically implement diversionary programs. We need to review the use of strip searches, drug decriminalisation and legalisation. These aren't radical ideas. These are the direct recommendations from the report commissioned by the government, led by an eminent health expert, based on evidence from across the globe and right here in our communities in New South Wales. Labor has proposed a comprehensive drug summit to do all these things. The New South Wales Government has had years and has done nothing. I will not let the stories of the ICE inquiry be forgotten. I will not let their recommendations be forgotten. Politics moves fast and we learnt from one scandal to another under this government, but I will not let the issue of the people who are being failed and are casualties of our failed war on drugs be forgotten by this Parliament.